Mohammed, welcome to the Inside GITEX podcast. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for hosting me. It's a pleasure to be with you here.
It's my pleasure. Do you like coming to GITEX?
I love GITEX. I don't think I missed one since I started my career in the tech industry in the region.
No way. So you've come to every single year?
Every single year, yeah.
So how does this year, 2025, compare with previous years?
So many ways. First of all, number of attendees.
It's gone up.
Gone up.
Big
First
time.
day, never been this busy. For first day, usually, but since we started, kicked off, the booth been super busy. The second thing I noticed, we have so many non-tech attendees at volume.
Yeah.
So you have HR heads, marketing heads, sales heads, chief revenue officers who want to know about technology. And this is I see it as an indication of increase in the maturity level when it comes to technology adoption. The third is the level of attendees. So we have more executives coming and attending, and basically from excellencies to CEOs who would want to know, like genuine attendance, not for just ticking the box, but they're spending time to experiment and see and wanting to know more, which is really, really inspiring.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you've heard more than anything else since you've been
AI.
here? What's everyone talking about? AI. Right. I'm going to ask you the same question that I've asked a few others. Are we in an AI bubble?
I don't think so. Honestly, genuinely, I don't think so. I mean, at a personal level, it's part of my life, part of my kids' life. It's how they study, how I live, how we plan our holidays, how we cook, how we move from point to another, how we plan. And this is just the assistant part of AI. And if you see where researches and products and technology for businesses are going, I think you'll be astonished.
So you're the Senior Vice President of Salesforce in the region.
Yeah.
So what is your role, essentially? And what is Salesforce now, pivoting? What are you trying to achieve?
Well, Salesforce came to the region about a year ago, and I joined 8 months ago to drive the growth agenda for Salesforce across Middle East. And if you look at Salesforce presence globally, we are the number one customer experience platform by far. Just to give you an indication, we are 10 times bigger than the second competitor globally. But if you look at our presence here, it's been remote.
You're still new. You're still relatively new to the region.
Yeah, you can say that. I can say that. But the adoption is high. I mean, I can say that one of the fastest growing regions for Salesforce globally. We tripled in size since 8 months ago in terms of number of employees, number of clients.
Amazing.
As you explained, in every customer experience conversation, we have also AI popping up. And this is what we do at best when it comes to redefining our platform.
So talk to me a little bit about Agentforce 360 and how you're using that to position yourself in the AI enterprise market.
Very good question. I mean, our methodology, our approach to AI is not traditional. So we don't think of AI as...
Is there a traditional approach to AI? It's only been around for a couple of years.
Yeah, but the technology is evolving every quarter.
Yes, but I like that, traditional AI. We're way past that now. I love that.
Yeah, which is it's an advanced search engine.
Yes.
That's what I mean by traditional, where an AI is an assistant to the human being. But mainly our approach is agentic, and how AI can be a digital person, a digital employee, supporting my human workforce. And I genuinely believe we are the last 100% human workforce generation. And I think soon leaders will be managing digital employees and human employees.
How does that make you feel when you say something like that?
Excited.
You don't get worried about, let's say, if you have kids or the future, what that's going to look like?
Because we are human beings, and we are social animals. We will find other means to collaborate and communicate with each other.
Yes.
So work will be redefined, and I see it. Our productivity will increase. Our quality of time for ourselves will be better, because we have done some researches, and we found out that 41% of the workforce spend their time on low-value tasks on a daily basis. 41%.
It sounds about right.
Yeah, and if you have an agent helping you to offload you from those non-critical stuff that you do on a daily basis, you will free more time to be more productive, spend it on personal level, health, stress relief, a bit of stress relief. Our life became so stressful because if you look on what we could do in a month 10 years ago, it happens in a day or an hour today.
Yeah.
With the speed of communication, speed of getting things done, evolving of technology. And this happened without agents. So all of this load on speed and acceleration happen on human beings.
Yes.
And we have limits. So basically, we're putting our workforce into limitless capabilities.
So you mentioned 41%. So I've got another stat for you. I read somewhere that 95% of all, enterprise AI pilots tend to fail before they get to sort of production. What measures are you sort of taking to make sure that you can succeed where others don't?
Amazing question. And
Thank you.
This is like in every executive conversation, I start with the approach of AI. I met one of my colleagues who became a friend, who is the CIO of a big utilities firm in the Middle East. I cannot mention the name, but we met in San Francisco in the Silicon Valley a couple of years ago. And over dinner, I asked him what you're doing here, and he said, I'm shopping, exactly like a kid going to Toys R Us, and he's buying every single AI tagged product. And we met a couple of months ago, and I asked him, how was the journey of AI? And he said, nothing changed. The organization executes the same way. I have huge bills that I'm paying on subscription, on usage, on power. But and we have our own LLM, and we developed great AI co-pilots, etc. But nothing changed on business. And this is my advice to business leaders: is your AI approach should be top-bottom. What you reimagine the organization, internal processes, and dealing with your clients or suppliers outside the four walls of the organization, and how you redefine those relationships based on AI, pure business process. How do you see the process post AI, and then you go down to technology. What most of the companies has done that led to this failure is they went technology approach, not business approach, and all of them ended up with crazy infrastructures, very fast GPUs, storages, data lakes, but they lack the use cases because they went bottom up, infrastructure, have the LLM, everything is ready, but they don't have use cases.
Yes.
I don't know how to use it in business. Rather, our approach, for example, is to take the customer experience process, help every leader to be in control of every touch point with those clients and those audiences, be it physical or digital. We call it phygital. And
I knew you were going there.
and then redefine that with the help of agentic.
Yes.
In any way, if I take a call center as an example, how agents can offload or.
But I have a question on that, just because I think it's a very important point. So you essentially your agents are helping multi-functions, IT, sales, HR. How do you make sure that you're adding value specifically for each of those functions rather than producing a kind of one-size-fits-all, copy-paste kind of solution? Because there's efficiencies in that from a cost perspective.
It was never one-size-fits-all. We go to where the pain is. If the organization is heavy on phone calls on their call center, for example, that's the case. And industries like this are airlines, utilities, tourism, travel, and how you reduce and answer those clients' requests faster. Other use cases is digital access. So you have many accesses on websites and applications, and how you can address customer needs on their digital channels with the help of agentic, like what we did with Dell, for example. If you go to Dell website now and use an agent to buy data center products, the designers, not sophisticated engineers, it's Agent Force, is really helping you design the data center. It's a job of good number of engineers traditionally that you used to see the space, racking, the stacking, the cooling, the space, the speed. Now it's done by agentic, and the success rate is quite high, and you can test it on.
So Mohammed, it can't all be perfect. So there must be some challenges, right? Because you're painting a very nice picture, which I'm sure Salesforce is a massive company. But what are some of the challenges that you're facing now that it's very, very difficult to overcome, or at least you're anticipating some challenges that are coming that you're trying to plan for?
Well, first of all is business leaders and decision makers are risk averse by nature. So whenever you want to try and test, people pick very easy use cases for them to try before they go bold in their plans, which will not really show the strength of agentic.
Yeah, they're trying to build confidence within the organization,
exactly.
But without really testing its full
they
capacity.
choose the simplest process. Okay, I'm gonna try it there. Let's build a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And most of the business, and I understand why. Probably if I were in business, those people choose, I would do the same. But the only key differentiator when you really see the value and test it and overcome those challenges is when you have somebody who's willing to take some little bit of risk to really test it in critical business process.
Very nice. Slack is becoming increasingly important in the way people work and into their workforce. How is Slack developing, especially now with AI as part of that vision, and how do you see the work space kind of developing in the future using platforms like Slack?
I'll tell you my personal story when I joined Salesforce. Salesforce is a heavy user of its own products, of course. One of them is Slack, and we don't use it only as a chat communication application. And I had that resistance when I first joined, resistance of change. But apparently it helped me not to open or sit on my laptop 24/7. We
taught you to learn. You had to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Had to be mobile, had to get stuff done on the go between clients' meetings, clients' visits, travel, airports. So you go to Slack and almost all of my Salesforce life is there. All of my day-to-day activities are there. All of my approvals, workflows, be it a quotation to holiday to expense to HR change, our groups to collaborate on topics, on projects. When you see engineers collaborating with each other in an implementation and you are part of it, when we have an escalation, for example, and you want fast response. So all of those channels are built, the chats are built, the workflows, access to applications in one platform. So it's way beyond a collaboration tool or a chat tool. It's really how we live. And how I imagine every executive should not be sitting behind a laptop and a keyboard just because we're used to it. Why don't you have a Slack kind of collaboration to make your life easy and get stuff done on the go and not necessarily spending hours just per day for our feelings to be satisfied and emotions to be satisfied, that we have done actually some work.
Mohammed, I like you, and I'm going to ask you a question with a crystal ball sort of in mind.
Yeah.
Look into the future for us, okay? What does that look like? What's the biggest changes going to happen to enterprise AI? What should we expect?
Probably I touched a little bit around the topic.
Go bigger.
Yeah, which is which is around agentic, and we need to be open-minded about it. There is a lot of fear from people when it comes to any agentic discussion, that agents will take our jobs. The world will be running by robots. People should be more open-minded when this adoption happen, because it is happening. I've seen the use cases. I'm living it, and they will happen with.
But what's coming next? Tell me what's going to come next. You think? How do you see enterprise AI business sort of developing?
No, I think we will have employees that are digital. I genuinely believe that we will have digital employees, and we need to redefine our process on how to deal with them. Because if you think,
will you give them work-life balance?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they can run 24/7.
Yeah.
And where the researches are happening now is we have digital worlds in some researches and some universities where we have agents living with each other for about years now with zero human interaction. And the researchers are teaching those agents emotions, memory. Like an agent met an agent, for example, did you find the job?
So it's early signs of sentience, essentially.
Yeah. It is happening. And if what you see today is scary, what's still in the research center is much, much scarier.
How long have you been working in the industry in general?
18 years.
18 years. Yeah. So over the last 18 years, you've obviously met a lot of smart people. You've been working with some of the biggest companies in the world. What is that overriding insight that you think we should know about? People who are not as involved in this particular industry, what do we need to know about? What's your biggest takeaway?
The biggest, it's a general statement that I use from business in technology. Probably it's not an insight as much as it is an advice on how you approach technology. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. I'm sure you know him. And when I watched his first video, the first book I read it, and the video, The Start with Why, I said how this can be applied to technology and how we can change our approach towards business. And I hate when I see people approach technology as a tick in a box project. It's an IT manager job.
Yeah.
And in every engagement with every client since then, I changed to be, why do we exist as a vendor? Why do we exist as Salesforce? Why do you need us? Before what to implement and how to implement it and when are we going live and how people will use it, why are you doing this project? And if I don't have an answer, I dig deeper and I go higher in the organization until I get the answer. Because if you don't have the answer, there's no meaning of doing the project.
Yeah.
I can implement a CRM project, but if it is not really changing anything in the organization, it's just a waste of time and money. So since then, I try to dig deeper for that question and how to make sense of technology to live a better life. And I live by it. All my team, all my ecosystem, my partners.
Your family as well?
Yeah, my family. Yeah. And I carry the same energy at home. And I always teach my kids the same way. And you'll be surprised when you ask the question. The research said 5 times. Why? You reach to completely different answer to the first one.
Yeah.
And I can give you so many examples, but
so why are you like that? Let's do the first why. Why are you like that? Where does it come from? You see, I'm turning it back on you. You see that?
Look. You live in the industry and you see the amount of projects that happen. You said 95% of the AI projects were failing, the research that you talked about. And it really hurts. Like 95% of it. That means a lot of efforts, a lot of time, a lot of money were spent. If you answered that prior to the start of those AI transformations, probably you would not have ended up with 90% failure, for sure. Yeah. Because the responsibility will be on the top of the pyramid, on the CEO or whoever is heading that organization. People will be driven differently. The governance will happen differently. The steering committees will be in place. So people will take it as a responsibility, as a whole organization to make it happen, not as an IT project.
You know what I loved about what you were talking about with Simon Sinek? The value of curiosity. It's such a human thing. And I think if you're going to teach anyone, I have two young boys as well, I'm teaching them to be as curious as they can be, because it's such a strong human quality to have the value. And if you have that as a nature, then you can go very, very far.
Yeah. And any organization, you see the leader with that curiosity, you will see them in a totally different technology
100%. Final question. GITEX. What are your thoughts on GITEX 2025?
Well, I think it's great. The attendance, as I told you earlier, from executive presence to business leaders, the amount of meaningful discussions that we had over the past 3 days were priceless.
Yeah.
It would take me, I don't know, good months to achieve what I achieved in the past 3 days.
What have you learned most from GITEX this year?
I learned that we are blessed in a region where public sector leading the change in terms of government services.
Yeah.
Usually when you go to other countries, especially
Europe.
East or West Europe or
US
sometimes.
Yeah,
exactly. You find the public sector lagging. And the private sector want to do more, but the regulation...
Look, here there's a vision. Here there's a long-term vision. And that gives the private companies all the opportunity to develop and grow.
The conversations I had from government officials the past 3 days were astonishing on where they want to take
Can you give me an insight?
E-government services.
Give me an insight.
I can't. Sorry.
Maybe off camera.
I can't. But really astonishing, like how they want to take e-government services, something unheard of. Both visions in UAE and Saudi, just an inspiration, and how both governments are putting more and more. I visited the government hall, and I was just surprised. How come more technology and more advanced technology is being demoed here than what you have in the technology hall? So it's just perfect.
Mohammed, you've been coming every year to GITEX. Inshallah, next year we'll be at Expo. We'll see you at next year at Expo.
I would love it.
And I wish you all the very best for the year ahead. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.